What's going on, team? You would not believe the craziest shit happened to me just now, alright? So I gotta give you guys a little bit of backstory before any of this makes sense. So I've had an altercation with someone in the elevator before. She's it's a woman. She's approximately 40 years old, and she's very abrasive. So in the past, I was on the elevator, and there's a 2-person maximum for the elevator. It's a building policy. Also, as we know in Toronto, it's mandatory to wear masks in public places. She never wears a mask, and then she proceeds to. So in this scenario, she tried to get on the elevator with me, okay? Now, I said I didn't feel comfortable, and also it was building policy. She then continued to pester me and say, I don't know why you're not comfortable. Why are you not comfortable? And anyway, this is the first time. I just had nothing to do with it. She told me to fuck off when the door was closing. Anyway, so let it go. This morning, right before I'm about to go on my walk to clear my head, ironically enough, I'm on the elevator, I get on the top, and halfway down she gets on, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. Luckily, I got my headphones on, and don't even entertain her. I nod. She stares at my shirt, says, oh, Coach Co, hip who can, Brendan Pereira. So I guess she's like, oh, I know who you are. Which I don't really care about, because I wear my name on my shirt for a reason. This is who I am, take it or leave it. So anyway, the door opens up once, and she looks at me, looks at the guy that's trying to get on the elevator, and she's like, do you feel comfortable? And so I take off my headphones. I'm like, excuse me? She's like, do you feel comfortable? I'm like, once again, no, it's building policy, and there's a sign literally right as we're looking straight ahead. The guy's like, don't worry about it, I get it, there's only 2-person maximum. She's like, are you sure you don't want to come on? Are you sure you don't want to come on? I just established I'm not comfortable. I just established that this is building policy. What do you mean? Anyway, so we're riding back down, and it opens up again. And this time, she doesn't even ask. She invites the person to come on the elevator. So at this point, I am about to lose my shit on this woman. So I start pressing the door, like the door closing button. Luckily, I'm the one that's closest to the door closing button, and so every time it opens up, I just close it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. And now she's getting at me. She's like, oh well, you think you're so strong with your exercise? Well, make sure you wear your mask on your run. I'm like, I don't need to wear my mask outside. She's like, well, you're a hypocrite. I was like, I don't know what I can do to prevent this from escalating, because I'm like, I'm not trying to bring that negative vibe into my day. Anyway, so we both get off, and she's like, make sure you wear an umbrella. And I was like, is that a comeback? Is that kind of like a yo mama joke? Like, I don't. And anyway, it ended up becoming funny, and she actually waited in her car for me to leave, and was like, make sure you're safe. My point in this whole rant is, ironically, it ties in wonderfully with a subject that makes me feel very passionate, obviously. And that is, how do we deal with confrontations, okay? And today we're gonna provide you with 3 concrete ways to deal with confrontation. I could not be more excited, because let me tell you, they worked for me, and it helped definitely de-escalate the situation from my perspective. Now, what happens with that woman's day? Honestly, if you start your day miserable, the chances are the rest of your day is gonna be miserable. Probably miserable life. So, let's roll that intro and get this going. I am fired up. All right, team. So before we get into talking about how to deal with confrontation, we're going to be heading up to the roof. As we know, this is my favorite place to think and just digest, and it'll tie perfectly into our theme. So let's hit this. Alright team, so tip number one when it comes to dealing with confrontation is to ground yourself in your life already, alright? And so what does that mean? Sounds like I'm talking gibberish, I'm not. So one of the reasons why I was able to deal with that situation in general is just because I find myself now more than ever really grounded to my life. I have so many different ways to decompress. As we know, this is one of them. Just finding ways to talk, communicate. I've mentioned it so many times how crucial it is to write stuff down, to really reflect back. And I do feel like having these things in place just makes me overall less likely to blow up. I'm coming from a point where before I had a pretty, not bad temper, but I did have, I had like a short fuse, okay? And I had to find ways to talk, to communicate, to breathe, doing things like meditations occasionally, which I've never been good at, by the way. But listening to music, these are all different ways that you can find a way to ground yourself in everyday life that are going to result in you not having issues where you're now going back and forth with someone or yelling at someone. Like there's no point of that. There's no reason in life to be arguing with someone, especially when they have a different opinion than you, like just let them have their opinion. As long as it doesn't affect you, I mean, it really doesn't matter. Like I see sometimes people commenting on my videos or commenting on my pictures or whatever, and they feel the need to put down either people in my videos or myself, and I can't imagine being in a headspace like that. So if you don't have a way to ground yourself, please find a way, because I promise you're going to be dealing with conflict so much easier. All right, team. Speaking of conflict, I'm about to conflict some pain on some dumbbells. Let's check this out.
I think it's time to put them in their place. I'ma have to set them straight. You don't know me. You don't know where I'm from or what I had to do to get this play. Hey, let me paint a picture. Everybody dissing, acting like it wasn't cool to listen. Now look at me. I say now look at me. Let me get it started. Yo.
Damn, that's good. So point number two when it comes to dealing with confrontation is essentially dealing with your own life, is getting happy with where you're at. I find one of the reasons why people in general are very upset or angry towards each other or just generally malicious is because they're not quite content with the decision that they've made up until this point. And this goes for, I mean, not everyone we walk by or we interact with on the street, but I mean, if someone's not happy with where they're at, how could they possibly, not challenge why you do what you do? A lot of that is a defense mechanism, I find. And if we're all happier, or if we're all happy with the decisions that we've made, then we don't really care about the decisions that other people make. Everyone's free to make their own decisions, everyone's free to have their own opinion, but when you try to put your stamp on theirs, you're essentially trying to cripple their growth, and you almost want them to be on the same level as you, and they're trying to put you down. So number one, don't let them put you down. That's first and foremost. And number two, let's try to get happier with our own lives through positive means, doing whatever it takes to be happy and confident in the work that we do on a day-to-day basis in order for us to not make the same mistakes as other people. What's going on, team? So now it's almost the end of the day. It's time to unwind. It's also time to talk about the most important part of the video. Tip number 3 when it comes to how to deal with confrontation, okay? And this tip is to learn to let go. Learn to laugh about it, all right? This sounds like it's very simple to do, but it is incredibly challenging, all right? And unless you do steps 1 and 2, step 3 is probably not gonna happen. But you need to learn to laugh things off. You need to learn to let things go, because if you hold on to them, you're no better than the people who treat you poorly in the first place. Those people who confront you for absolutely no reason, all right? You are no better. And eventually you're gonna probably take it out on your friends, your family, your loved ones, and that's the last thing we want. We wanna make sure the buck stops here, we neutralize it. So learning to let go is incredibly important, and it's something that's definitely helped me substantially with respect to nullifying confrontation. All right, team, so you've got these 3 tips. I think you're more than equipped to deal with any and all confrontations moving forward. As always, you need to like, subscribe, comment on this video, share it with your friends. Do you know how many people have to deal with confrontation on a day-to-day basis? Help them out. You know, because if we all have ways to deal with confrontation, maybe there's less confrontation out there. And let me tell you, I want to live in a world when there's less confrontation, because I'm tired of people bringing it to me at 7:30 in the morning. So, have a great day, and please be great, people.